Hi guys, so today's video is going to be a little bit more serious than my videos as of late, but it's been something that's been on my mind for quite a while, and I bet this video will get instantly demonetized because YouTube hates me. Harvey Weinstein, YouTube, sexual assault, abuse, emotional manipulation, all of these things are sadly connected. Ever since it was found out that Harvey Weinstein is a giant, creepy douche predator, my mind has weirdly been on YouTube. Not because I don't care about what's happening in Hollywood and in the music industry now, but because it's a weird deja vu for me and for those of us that have been on YouTube for longer than like 3 years. Mainly because the same thing happened to us 3.5 years ago. I was thinking about how much the YouTube community has changed in the last 1.5 years or so. Like, it's so much bigger with the mass influx of Viners and viewers and just original series and YouTube Red and YouTube TV, and it's a different place than it was 4 years ago. So I'll give a little rundown of what happened, at least how it started. So the first person that was accused of being a sexual predator, Michael Lombardo. He was a prominent YouTuber in the community. He was on DFTBA Records. He was a big part of the Vlogbrothers and Nerdfighter community. He was a musician. He was a bit older than a lot of the people that were on YouTube at the time. He was in his 20s, and most people were in their teens or very, very early 20s. People started coming out and saying that he had been soliciting naked photos of underage girls and manipulating them in like chats online, and when that happened, the FBI raided his home and found child pornography on his computer, and he's in prison now. And after that, it just kept happening. I won't go into details about every guy that was accused, and a couple girls. I'll link several articles and videos below that might be a bit more enlightening, but 2 hands worth or so of people who were publicly outed. It was a different world back then. It was far smaller. Far smaller. Accusations ranged from emotionally abusive and manipulative to hitting on and soliciting sex from teenage girls to straight up rape. And case in point, in how small this community was, I knew at least 4 of the girls that were directly affected by it, and countless more that were indirectly affected by it. And at least 2 of the guys that were accused, I knew personally. I had hung out with them. It shook YouTube to its core, and it made me feel icky. It made me feel disgusting. It made me lose all faith in the community I had found myself in, and it made me afraid that every guy that I had ever watched on YouTube was secretly a sexual predator. It was a really dark time for YouTube. It was really dark. The Sam Pepper thing happened all around the same time. If you're unaware, he used to be a YouTube prankster, and he posted a video where he was sexually assaulting women. Apparently it was a social experiment, but nonetheless, he was assaulting women, and then multiple girls came out to say that he had raped them. In the midst of all of that, the YouTube community kind of banded together and just shut these people out, and we're gonna have it. A couple of the guys tried to start making videos again after taking a long hiatus, and people just didn't give a shit. They were like, no, we don't want you here. You abused us. You manipulated us. We trusted you. At very least, they betrayed everybody's trust because we were supposed to be like the cool underground group of people that like were not the mainstream. These were supposed to be people like us, and they were taking advantage of a lot of their fans. The fact that YouTube collectively just like didn't stand for it, maybe not necessarily the website YouTube, but like the community at the time didn't want to fucking have them back. So you don't hear about them anymore. You wouldn't know their names if I said them, so I'm not going to, but I'll link fucking everything. That's not the point. The point is that everything that's happened very recently with Harvey Weinstein and with Louis C.K. and with the President of the United States, that happened to us 4 years ago. I was older when this all happened. Like, I was 24, and I can't imagine what it was like to be a teenager when this happened, because not only do you look up to these people like I did, but as a teenager you're in a far more vulnerable state than a 24-year-old. And I get worried now looking at the way that some YouTubers and content creators interact with their fans and vice versa, because that's not how it happened back in the day. Back in my day, my mom told me, don't meet people in real life that you talk to on the internet, because you don't know what kind of person they are. Back in my day, you were very wary. Getting catfished didn't have the name catfished. That was just a normal occurrence. And now you have people like Jake Paul, for instance, making his home a public business on Google Maps, and parents bringing their children to stand outside his home in a suburban neighborhood in Southern California just for a chance to see him. Not only is that like fucked up and manipulative, but that is such a slippery slope to all kinds of dangerous abuse. And I got a particular bone to pick with the parents, because like the kids, they're stupid, but it's like, how much do they know? If these parents knew that there were people who went to prison because they had child pornography of their fans on their own computer, they wouldn't be letting their kids go to Jake Paul's house. They wouldn't be driving their asses out to his home where not only he lives, but his entire Team 10 of employees that he also abuses and manipulates. Case in point, Martinez twins. Jake Paul is an asshole. He's an asshole. He doesn't make content. He makes non-tent, and he is a giant pimple on this community. But the biggest problem I have with him is this manipulation of his fan base and this disrespect of his fan base, this dangerous line he has crossed with them. And back in the day when I first started YouTube, the line between creator and viewer was far closer together. Everybody was on a very level playing field back then. Now you don't have that. Now you have people with millions upon millions of subscribers and people who are just passive consumers of videos. It wasn't like that back in the day. I sound so old. It wasn't. It wasn't like that. Now it's like they iconicize them in such a dangerous way that it could very easily become predatory and abusive, and it scares me seeing these people get to be so big with such problematic behavior, because like I said, I feel old watching some of these people conduct their lives the way they do on the internet. Let's just put that out there. I just wish that what had happened 4 years ago served as more of a cautionary tale. It's not an isolated incident, and it's not like it was just a thing of the past, a thing of YouTube's past. It can still happen. And based on what's happening in Hollywood right now, and what's happening in the music industry, and what's happening in Congress right now, I guarantee you it's still happening on YouTube. We're just not hearing about it as much, because the website's too big. There's like people who have millions upon millions of subscribers that I've never heard of. That wasn't how it was back in the day. If somebody had 1 million subscribers, everybody fucking knew who it was, because at the time it was like, oh, everybody's subscribed to that person. Now, somebody can have like 30 million subscribers and I could not know who the hell they are. It's so vast, and people don't know all the time what's happening in different portions, different communities. Now there's like subsections of this subculture that we found ourselves in. I just wish that more people were aware and respected what people did to bring these people down. That is what's been on my mind lately, and I just wanted to talk about it in a video because I think that a lot of you guys maybe weren't around back when it happened, maybe weren't privy to everything that happened. But yeah, I knew at least 4 of the girls that were affected by it, that were abused by these guys. And I knew at least 2 of the abusers. And it felt fucking weird. The world's a lot smaller than you think it is sometimes. I just wish everybody knew that still. And I wish that people didn't have that like any publicity is good publicity thing. Like, be an adult. Like, I just wish these people were fucking adults, but they're not. I hope this made sense. I don't quite know if it did or not, but I will link to several articles below. I didn't feel like going into all the details of it because just there's so much that happened, and that wasn't the point of the video. It was just a cautionary tale of like, this can happen to us. Just be aware. Like, it did happen, and we just shut it down real fast. So if anything like this ever happens to you, if you ever feel violated or manipulated by somebody that you watch on the internet, if anybody ever slides into your DMs and you're under the age of 18 and they're an adult, don't fucking stand for that shit. Don't let somebody abuse their power and abuse their place of privilege above you. Because it fucking happens. You just gotta see the red flags. Because Jake Paul has so many, he's a walking red flag. He is literally a walking red flag. Rice gum, all the same. Walking red flags. Okay.